You can. Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यनमोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापत्कमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं सतं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णापृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारणे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य ईश्वरं गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे. Okay, so let's get started. We have to read at least 3 verses purports, which we can read continuously after reviewing a few concepts. Okay, so let's review a few concepts on the screen. Let's review a few concepts and then let's read a couple of purports. Then we'll review a couple more concepts and keep going like that. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share my whiteboard. So just so everybody knows, I'm going to read from my ebook today, Bhagavad Gita, that I have bought from BBT. And Nagarjun Prabhu has more information. We can buy these books, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and many other Prabhupada books online. And this is not like Veda based because this is our copy. So we can write on it, we can annotate, we can highlight and everything. So that's what I'm going to try to do today, okay? But if you're interested in buying these books, the whole set of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, you can then transfer it to your Kindle. You can open it on your laptop. You can write on it, mark on it. I feel that's very much easy. So I got my Bhagavad Gita like this. But let's get started. So the first concept, just to review from last time also, we discussed that how a devotee, a Krishna conscious person, or we can say a spiritualist, somebody who wants to uh, go beyond this world, who wants to get liberated ultimately, they're on a spiritual path. That soul, such a soul, should be internally oriented towards super soul or Paramatma. Okay, they should be focused on their internal um, absorption on Paramatma. Let's say you are chanting the holy names. Let's say you are introspecting. You want to develop some divine values. You want to focus, right? So then you need to be internally oriented. Right now, what is happening is, so we discussed these concentric circles last time, where soul is, let's say, the innermost circle. Then outside the soul, there is subtle body or sukshma sharir, of which mind is a very important component. Okay. And then comes the gross body, of which senses are a very important component. And then around us, this is our body, gross body and subtle body, in which the soul is situated. Soul is situated here. And outside there is the world. Okay. And world has people and things, events going on, lots of things going on. There is war going on, there is unrest, there is terrorism, there is sickness, there is disease like COVID happened, or there are natural disasters going on, or there are happy, good things going on, some new inventions happening in the world, maybe some new places to travel, or some new amusement parks, or some shows going on, some um, events, some things going on, right? So a lot of stuff going on, some adventures happening. So in the world and with people of the world, there is a lot going on, right? This is people. So the problem is, what is happening is that the reason we say mind is an enemy is because this mind is right now very much externally oriented. It is getting pulled by the senses and by the world. So it is very much absorbed in the desires created by the senses, in the various information given by the world, in the opinions of the people. And so it is very much externally distracted. But a Krishna conscious person, a spiritual person, is internally absorbed. He does not allow these external sensory or worldly distractions, temptations, allurements, disturbances, even whatever disturbances are happening, let's say in your family, in your community, created by other people. It does not, such a person is not disturbed by all those things going on outside. So he has his mind in control. So basically, soul, you can say, is interacting with the world or with the body through the conduit of mind. Okay. And if your mind is controlled, Krishna says, then it is your friend. If this mind is not under your control, it is out of control, it is not in your restraint, then such a mind is your enemy, because such a mind will keep you disturbed, keep you agitated. It will keep you very much absorbed, distracted in the outside world, or even in the bodily things going on. Okay. It will never let you be internally absorbed on Paramatma. This is the concept from last time. So I'm hoping everybody understands this very basic thing, but we are all struggling with it. But what that helps to you to do on a daily basis is, we discussed that there are a lot of things coming into your mind. Okay. Lot of information is coming from outside, lot of thoughts are coming from outside, lot of desires are coming, lot of um, emotions are coming, right? So many things are going on. The mind, if the mind is under your control, it will filter these things. It will not let you unnecessarily, it will not let the soul get unnecessarily agitated by all that input that is coming inside it. Okay. It will filter those things. It will only process those thoughts that are helpful, that are favorable. Again, the concept of favorable and unfavorable should be understood. Okay. Favorable, and when we say favorable, we mean things that are favorable for our spiritual life, and unfavorable are the things, events, people, opinions, information that is not very shubh, auspicious, or favorable for our spiritual life are considered unfavorable. So a mind that is trained, that is controlled, will reject a lot of these unfavorable things. Okay. It will accept a lot of these favorable things. So such a mind will be friend of the soul. I hope these things are coming to you from a little bit from the last class, and I'm building up a little bit more today, like this concept of favorable bhakti anukula matra svikar. Okay, so only svikar, only accept the things that are favorable for your spiritual life, for your eternal life, for your long life, right? The long life means the one that is taking you back to Krishna, not just what is going on within this body. Unfavorable things are the ones that are just keeping you absorbed in this world, keeping you entangled so that you have more and more bondage in this world. They could be some activities, they could be some people, they could be some events, some objects, properties. So you reject those things. Okay. Now, if Krishna conscious person deals with these unfavorable things, he only deals with them to the extent that they help him. For example, you might say that I have to go to work and my work is not entirely favorable to spiritual life, or the people that I meet there, or the people that are part of my social circle, the people that are part of my family, even within my household, there are people who are not favorable to my spiritual life. Let's say my spouse is not favorable, or my other extended family members are not very favorable. My certain obligations I have that are not very favorable, but they are my obligations, they are my responsibilities, my duty in this body, and I cannot completely reject them. So are you saying to reject my spouse, or to reject those extended family members, or to reject those mandatory activities that I cannot get rid of? So then a devotee will engage with such unfavorable things only to the extent that is his duty, that is needed, that is his responsibility. And he will, he will, let's say, has to go out with certain friends. He will go out to the extent that it helps um, to stay connected with them, but he will not give his heart to these people. He will not get inspired by these people. He will not allow these people to influence his spiritual life. Okay. So he's not very excited. He's not very enthusiastic about these people, these activities, these things. But he will accept them as part, as, with detachment, he will accept them as part of his obligatory life. Okay. But favorable things that are very, like, let's say this Bhagavad Gita class or a program that is happening, Janmashtami coming up, then he gets very excited. He gives his heart to these things. He makes these things a big deal. Hmm? So this is another concept to understand. Um, let's just there are many sutras that I want to share with you. So let's read a couple verses and then I'll share more, because on this concept I will elaborate. So hold your questions for now. We will discuss much more. Let's go to the verse, because otherwise we will get behind on reading our Prabhupada's purports. So I think we have to read from verse. This is the ebook that I was talking about. And you can get more information about this from Nagarjun Prabhu. I personally find this very helpful. Okay, last time we did verse 5, but we never read the purport. So we have to recite it again and read the purport. So let's recite it again, verse 5. उद्धरेत् आत्मनात्मानम् उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानं
उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानम्
नात्मानम् अवसादयेत्
नात्मानम् अवसादयेत्
आत्मैव हि आत्मनो बन्धुर्
आत्मैव हि आत्मनो बन्धुः
आत्मैवा रिपुरात्मनः.
आत्मैवारिपुरात्मनः.
So, if you remember, the word uddhar means to uplift yourself, okay, to elevate yourself with the help of mind. Krishna is saying uddhar, not avasad, not decline, not degrade yourself with the help of mind. This same mind can be either your friend, okay, if it is controlled, it will be your friend. And that same mind, if not controlled, will be your ripu. Remember the word ripu. The word ripu means enemy, okay. It is a very famous word that keeps coming up in our Vedic literature. So Ripu means it can become your enemy, okay, versus Bandhu. So we have to make it our Bandhu, not enemy. Can somebody read this translation and purport?
I can read, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Translation. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is a friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Purport.
Mhm.
The word Atma denotes body, mind and soul, depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Since the mind is a central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachment to sense objects. It is stressed here in that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nescience. In the material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, The super soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with
The,
the false ego.
the soul. The the pure soul, not the super soul. Super soul means Paramatma. So this
Sure.
is referring to Jiva, the pure soul.
Yes. Which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it would not be attracted by the glitter of material nature, and in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in the material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word he is used for emphasizing this point, that is, that one must do this. It is also said, mana eva.
मनैव मनुष्याणां कारणं बन्धमोक्षयो बन्धाय विषया सङ्गो मुक्त्यै निर्विषयं मनः.
um, Mind absorbed in sense objects and mind detached from the sense objects is the cause of liberation. Um, Atma Upanishad 2. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation. Hari Bol.
Dibol. So, okay. So we understood this, right? We understood this point that mind can be a friend or an enemy. So one of the ways to understand this is that you can compare it to like a pet dog versus, so for example, let's say I go to somebody's house, okay? The dog will not let me in. The dog will start barking because it does not recognize me. It will start barking. So then I have to call the owner, the master of the dog, and the dog will answer to the master and immediately become quiet. Right? It will not be agitated anymore. So if so, compare that dog to the mind. Okay, if you are the master of that dog, then that dog, or you can say mind, becomes your pet. Okay, it comes under your control. It will not become agitated. But if you are not its master, okay, the if you are a visitor, if you're not its master, then that mind or that dog will remain agitated. It will keep causing problems. Okay, that dog or that mind has become the master of you and will keep agitating you. It will keep disturbing you. It will keep provoking you. Okay, it will keep creating, making all these things that are not important for you. It will keep making those things very important, and the things that are important, like let's say spiritual activities or engaging in service or attending the class or singing the kirtan or learning the verse, it will make those things very unimportant. Oh, there is a lot of time in my life, I can do this later. So an uncontrolled mind will make those things, will pay more value, uh, create more importance, will make a big deal of the unimportant things of life, and will minimize the importance of the actually important things. Okay, so this is the condition of a mind. So make it your pet dog. That's number one point I was thinking of. Other point, so since Prabhupada is saying, since the mind is the central point of the yoga practice. So here the word Atma comes many times, but the word Atma here refers to mind, and the second time the Atma word refers to soul. So the soul should control the mind, not that the mind controls the soul. So Atma word can be interchangeably used for either mind or soul. Here it is being used for both. Okay. Um, and then this point, I think we all understand, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. So remember that our subtle body has three components: mind, intelligence, and ego, right? Man, buddhi, and ahankar. So ego is what keeps us in this world. Ego tells us that we are the lord of this world. We are this body. We are not the servant. Okay, and mind cements the influence of this ego. So remember that soul engages with the world through this mind. Okay, so mind is making this ego very, very strong. Mind is enhancing the influence of ego in this world. Okay, mind is catering to the ego. Mind is saying, yes, you are not the servant of the Lord, you are this body. So mind is cementing the influence of ego in this world. That is why mind is considered an enemy. When it is not under your control, this mind will create a strong influence of false ego. Okay, so let's say this is your existence in the world. So mind will strengthen your false ego if it is not in your control. That is how mind is enemy for ordinary people. It is strengthening your false ego. It is telling you that you are not a servant of the Lord, that you are this body, that you don't need to engage in spiritual activities, that it is important to listen to the senses, it is important to listen to the people, it is important to please the people of this world. It is important to have an opinion about all the things going on in this world. It is okay to be disturbed by the things going around you. It is okay to let the senses, the world, the distractions, the attractions, the temptations to interfere with your spiritual life. That is what an uncontrolled mind is doing. That is how it is your enemy. So once you understand what mind is doing, I'm just trying to make sure that you all understand how it is your enemy, so that you stop listening to your mind so much and you start trying to tame it. Remember the analogy of dragon we used last time? You start trying to tame it. Okay, you have to ride the dragon, not stand in the line of its fire. Right now you're standing in the line of the fire of a fire breathing dragon and allowing it to destroy you, allowing it to degrade you. So it is degrading your existence. But we have to elevate ourselves through the same mind, and that same mind can now free you, Krishna is saying. So let's see how we'll see more about this. Let's read the next verse. And then the word he, Krishna said, is used for certainly. So Prabhupada is saying the word he is used for emphasizing this point. One must do this. One must control the mind. And Prabhupada is quoting a verse that mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation also. So you're without you can say I can just disregard my mind. Yes, but mind you have to make it your friend, because with mind only you can get liberated. So it is the cause of bondage, but it is also the cause of liberation. So as soon as you make it your friend, you will be able to chant better. You will be able to do your spiritual activities better. You will not be disturbed by the provoking situations. You will not be disturbed by the bodily problems, family problems, money problems, or the things going on in the world in a different country, or on the news. Right? So mind can also be a source of liberation. So Prabhupada is saying mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage, and mind detached from sense object is the cause of liberation. Therefore, mind, which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness, is the cause of supreme liberation. We have to see how to engage the mind in Krishna consciousness always. So let's see more about it being friend and enemy. This is the memory verse, very, very important verse. Bandhur atmatmanastasya
बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य
बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मेवा आत्मना जितः
येनात्मैव
येनात्मेवा आत्मना
आत्मना
जितः
जितः
अनात्मानस्तु शत्रुत्वे
अनात्मानस्तु
अनात्मानस्तु
शत्रुत्वे
वर्तेतात्मेव शत्रुवत्.
वर्तयितात्मैव शत्रुवत्.
So see, the word shatru is used so many times because Krishna is saying, for him who has conquered the mind, okay, bandhur, that mind will become bandhu. Okay, for which atma, for which soul? So again, the word atma comes twice. For that soul whose mind has become controlled, the mind will be a friend. Okay, yen atmeva, that soul that has controlled its mind, jita, who has conquered its mind, that mind will become friend. And the mind, that soul which has not controlled the mind, so I'm using the word, so one atma here means soul and another atma here means mind. Okay, so that soul which has jita, which has controlled, captured, conquered its mind, for him mind will be friend, but who has not controlled its mind, that mind will be shatru, will be enemy. Okay, can somebody read this?
I can read.
Yes.
For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. Purport. The purpose of practicing Eightfold Yoga is to control the mind in order to make it a friend in discharging the human mission. Unless the mind is controlled, the practice of yoga for show is simply a waste of time. One who cannot control his mind lives always with the greatest enemy, and thus his life and its mission are spoiled. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one's mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictations of lust, anger, avarice, illusion, etc. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of this personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. Real yoga practice entails meeting the Paramatma within the heart and then following his dictation. For one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord follows automatically. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this first line I find is very important. Prabhupada is saying to control the mind in order to make it a friend in discharging the human mission. So the human mission, remember the human mission is to go back to Godhead. The human mission is to engage in service of the Lord, to make the best use of this human body. So in order to discharge that human mission, you have to control your mind. And then Prabhupada is saying, look at the highlighted lines. One who cannot control the mind, for that person, the mind will stay greatest enemy. So his life and its mission are spoiled. Why? Because such an unconquered enemy will always serve the dictation of lust, anger, avarice, illusion, etc. So I think this point we have nicely understood that somebody who's somebody's mind which is externally oriented, very worried about what senses want, what world wants, what people wants, what things are going on outside, what events are going on, what adventures are going on, what activities, what objects to buy, how to please people, how to please senses, how to all this external stuff, that person cannot reach Paramatma within the heart. That person cannot. So personality of Godhead is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. So real yoga means to meet the Paramatma within the heart. But such a person cannot focus within the heart, cannot meet with the Paramatma within the heart. They cannot have any tangible interactions with the heart. Imagine like a radio, okay? So we have to listen to the Paramatma frequency, okay? But we cannot listen to the Paramatma frequency because our radio, our mind is out of tune. So it is connected to the frequency of this world, okay? So we are hearing all nonsense. So the frequency is completely off. Imagine how much static, when the radio is off tune, like it's in a different frequency, it's not on the proper station, then you are hearing all this staticky, all this disturbing noise coming through. You cannot, you're listening to something else. So your mind is right now tuned to a different frequency than the Paramatma frequency. It cannot listen to Paramatma's instructions, injunctions. So such a mind cannot allow the soul to introspect, to contemplate how to improve myself, what qualities I need to cultivate that will please Krishna, how to improve my services, how to please the devotees. It cannot contemplate on those things because it is so disturbed by the external, the disturbing frequency that it is hearing. Okay. So you have to tune out all this other staticky, disturbing noise and just tune into the Paramatma frequency. But to tune that to the Paramatma frequency, the mind needs to be controlled. So let's see more about this. This is again very beautiful verse. I really, really love this verse. I wish this could be memorized, but we have a very selected number that we can memorize. But we'll at least recite this 3 times. So please recite number 7. Jitatmana prashantasya.
Jitatmana prashantasya
Paramatma samahitaha.
Paramatma samahitaha
Shitoshna Sukha Dukkheshu
Shitoshna Sukha
Dukkheshu
Dukkeshu
Tatha Man Apamanayo. Tatha
Tatha
Man
Manapamanayo.
Let me tell you the Sanskrit, then let's recite it a couple more times. Now Krishna is saying what happened. So last two verses, Krishna told us that controlled mind is your friend, uncontrolled mind is your enemy. Okay. So basically, for ordinary people, for all practical purposes, you can say we have enemy. Our mind is an enemy. Okay, because we all have uncontrolled mind. We are not a yogi. We are not a very advanced devotee. Our mind is uncontrolled, and so it is an enemy. So right now, my mind is an enemy. Okay. But what happens if this mind became conquered? Krishna is saying, Jitatmana. If your mind is controlled, then you become prashant. Prashant means very peaceful, very tranquil, very calm, sober, happy, joyful person. Okay, that is the word prashantasya. So they achieve tranquility. Paramatma Samahita. For such a person, Paramatma is reached. Remember how we were talking about reaching Paramatma, tuning into the frequency of Paramatma, tuning inside, not outside. For such a person, Samahita, Paramatma is reached. So for Jitatmana, Paramatma is reached. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkheshu. He is not disturbed by the happiness and distress, Sukha or Dukkha, or Sheet Ushna. Sheet means by the cold, or Ushna means um, by the summers or winters of this world, meaning by the happiness and distress, the dualities of this world, the victory and the defeat, the success and the failures, the rich and the poverty, the ups and the downs of this world, this life will not bother him. Tatha man apamanayo. Same thing, even insults to your subtle body, like insults to your pride, man and apman. Not only gross insults to your body, like like health and sickness, or loss of money, or loss of property, things like that are very gross, but also subtle problems like man apaman, which happen on a very subtle platform, where you lose your status or position in the society, where people are insulting you, you're being slighted in the world, right? So even, or the respect, you are being respected too much, somebody is giving you honors, you're being glorified, even that will not puff you up, that will not make you arrogant or proud. So even man or apman will not bother you. So such a person is very tranquil, very sober, very joyful within, because for him Paramatma is reached. And I don't know if you have experienced those kind of moments in your spiritual life, like during your sadhana, during your spiritual activities, when you're absorbed in service. But when that type of joy comes, that type of joy, that prashant feeling is very deep. For right now we can only experience it very few times, very rarely. It's a flickering happiness, that we spiritual happiness, basically the anand of spiritual bliss, is very rare for us right now, in the condition that we are, right? We are in a very contaminated situation, so for us it's very difficult to perceive this. But whenever this happens, this is much more joyful, this is much more deep than any sensory happiness, than any worldly happiness. And when one starts having longer moments of such ananda, this is called ananda. This is not sukha, this is ananda. This ananda is very long lasting. It's very different from our sukha of this world. This ananda is very deep. It touches a place in your heart which is which is more profound. It's a very profound moment when you feel that. Such a joy is what this jitatmana person is feeling on a very long lasting basis, on a very long term basis. So imagine, we all want to feel this anand, this spiritual, this profound deep bliss that goes deep inside the heart and is not temporary or flickering. And ours is like, a bulb that's not working. So the bulb keeps flickering. So we get light just for a few seconds and then it goes away. Then it's darkness for most of the time. So in our heart, there is darkness for most of the time. And the spiritual bliss flickers only in rare moments of deep Krishna consciousness. But imagine if that bulb could stay on forever, it could light up your heart, your existence, your consciousness forever. So what a wonderful situation that would be. So that is the situation this Chitatmana Prashantasya person is experiencing. Let's read this and then we'll discuss another concept after this. Can somebody read it?
Okay.
Yes.
For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already rich, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. Actually, every living entity is
Mataji, your voice is not very clear. Like it's not the best.
just a second.
This is great.
Uh,
Yeah, this is perfect.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can tune into you.
Okay. Uh,
Before you were out of tune.
Yeah, sorry, I was connected to the speaker, but I'll read everything again. Translation: For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. Purport: Actually, every living entity is intended to abide by the dictation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. When the mind is misled by the external illusory energy, one becomes entangled in material activities. Therefore, as soon as one's mind is controlled through one of the yoga systems, one should be considered to have already reached the destination. One has to abide by superior dictation. When one's mind is fixed on the superior nature, he has no alternative but to follow the dictation of the Supreme. The mind must admit some superior dictation and follow it. The effect of controlling the mind is that one automatically follows the dictation of the Paramatma or Supersoul, because this transcendental position is at once achieved by one who is in Krishna consciousness. The devotee of the Lord is unaffected by the dualities of material existence, namely distress and happiness, cold and heat, etc. This state is practical samadhi or absorption in the Supreme. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm going. So I think you understand this, but I'm going to tell you two concepts now. Okay, they're based on these two lines. First is when the mind is misled by the external illusory energy, one becomes entangled in material activities. Okay, and the second point is Prabhupada is saying that mind must admit some superior dictation and follow it. Okay, so let's write. So one point is um, that external illusory energy, meaning material activities. Okay, so I'm trying to see how to do this. So, when, if this comes in Ramayana, when Ravan was dying, okay, when Lord Ram had shot the arrow at Ravan and he was dying, um, Lord Ram told, sorry, I'm just trying to do multiple things. Lord Ram told Lakshman that please go to Ravan and get some lesson from him. Ask him what is the, because he was a Pandit, he was a learned person. He was not in topmost consciousness, but he was still a learned person. He was not applying it. He had gyan, but no vigyan. He had knowledge, but no realizations or application, right? So he was but still a Pandit. So Lord Ram told Lakshman that go to Ravan and ask him what is the most important lesson you have to teach on your deathbed. So this is the lesson Ravan told Lakshman. He said, Shigrasya, I'm going to write in English. He said, Shigrasya Sorry, it's difficult to write with this pencil. Shigrasya Shubham. Okay? Shigrasya Shubham. So this is one lesson. Or Shubhasya Shigram. I wrote it the other way. Shubhasya Shigram. Okay? Well, you got the point. The point is, I will also write in Hindi, so some of you may understand. Shubhasya Shigram, which means that do the Shubh thing, okay? Shubh here means spiritual activity, a favorable activity, an auspicious activity very quickly, okay? Very quickly. So Ravan gave an example. He said, trying to remember what example he gave. He gave an example that he wanted to do something. I can't remember. Anybody remembers? What did he tell Lakshman? That I wanted to build something that was spiritual, and he did not do it. I'll have to tell you this next time. And he kept procrastinating it. Okay. Instead, he kept accepting the impulses of his senses, like lusty senses. Respond to like kidnapping Mother Sita. He did that very quickly. But the spiritual activity that he was planning all his life, he kept delaying it. He kept procrastinating it. He said, don't procrastinate the spiritual activity, rather, procrastinate the material activity. So, whatever is favorable, okay, favorable means spiritual activity that is going on, okay, be very enthusiastic, be very active about it, become very excited about it. Give your heart to it, okay, make it very urgent and important, okay. Like, let's say this class is, I'm just giving the example of the class, but anything, you see, oh, 8:30 or 9 o'clock Sunday morning, let me quickly join the class. Or Janmashtami, let me start preparing my verses. I have to learn 25 verses, and I cannot procrastinate it. Make it very urgent, very important, okay. So train your mind. This is again all in the mind. Train your mind that this is a very important, very urgent job, okay. Make that spiritual activity a big deal, okay. Make it a big deal in your mind, as if something very bad will happen if you did not do it. For example, I have to go to work tomorrow, right? If I did not go to work tomorrow, it is a very big deal, right? Because a lot of my patients will have to be rescheduled. They will become very dissatisfied. They will complain. Their care will get delayed. They will suffer. It is a very big deal if I did not go to work tomorrow, if I did not do my surgeries that are scheduled. It is a very big deal in my mind that I cannot miss my work. So I will wake up on time. I will make all my arrangements so that I can eat properly on time in the morning. I can get dressed properly in the morning, because in my mind, it is a very big deal that I go to work. Similarly, make these spiritual activities, your services, your spiritual activities, your Krishna conscious activities, your sadhana, your chanting, make them very urgent, very important, make them a very big deal in your mind. Okay, give them a lot of importance. Okay, and procrastinate this concept my Guru Maharaj also mentions a lot. When you have some sense gratification to do, okay, like, like I want to watch some TV, okay, I want to go out and eat. Procrastinate those things. Procrastinate word meaning delay something, okay. Give it not so much importance. Make it very secondary, very unimportant. Dekha jayega, kar lenge, we'll see if we can go to the restaurant today or not. We'll see. Maybe I'll eat that. I'm not sure. So make it very loosey goosey in your mind. Do not give importance. And you have to do this very deliberately. I'm giving you this principle to practice that you can start from today. It's a practical application point. Make those things that are unfavorable, delay those things, okay? Delay your sense gratification. Delay those things that are not so helpful, that are actually unfavorable. Bhakti pratikula karya varjanam, okay? Bhakti Bhakti anukulya karya matra karera svikara. Bhakti pratikula karya varjanam, something like that, right? So varjanam. So bhakti pratikul karya, uh, angikar, meaning accept that, embrace it very enthusiastically, very ambitiously, very active, become very ambitious in this. Just how ambitious we are to go to work, we are to handle our material duties. Become very ambitious in spiritual life. Am I on top of my verses or not? Am I singing a Vaishnav bhajan or not today? Did I learn this or not? Did I offer this service properly or not? How can I improve my service? Become very ambitious about it. Make it a very big deal in your head. Okay. Like for example, I can give you my example. Like for the like this class is a very big deal to me. I make it very important. It is a very big deal for me if I have to miss it. If I'm out of town, I have to think twice. How can I do it? Is it possible I can still do it from the car? Can we stop somewhere on the road and I do it from there? Can I do it from from the hotel where we are staying? Do they have enough Wi-Fi there? Do they have space? Can I speak openly over there or no? So I have to make arrangements. So make arrangements, make it a very big deal that it cannot be missed, it cannot be delayed. Whereas this materialistic activities, the spiritual activities, delay them, become loosey goosey about them, become very soft about them, not very ambitious, they're not very important, they're very secondary, procrastinate them. Okay. So this is one thing. Now, this can become easy. For what does a jitatmana prashantasya person do? How do they train their mind with this? So there comes a concept of actual value versus attributed value. I think I have discussed this concept with you before. Where do you allow your mind to put value? Okay. Let's say today somebody tells me, I will give you $1,000 to drink this glass of whiskey. Hmm? There is no way. No one can pay me enough money to drink that glass of whiskey, because to me that $1,000, that $1,000,000 is not enough to my spiritual, my the harm that whiskey will cause me is much worse than the benefit that I will have. Okay. So where do I put value? Okay. Let's say somebody says this car, like a more practical example is, um, I'm going to buy a car. Okay. I go with my husband to buy a car. This is a second hand car, and this car, all the websites say, will come for $1,000. Okay. But right now, recession is going on, or let's say when the COVID pandemic was going on, the value of the cars had gone up. Okay. So right now they are selling this car for $10,000. Okay. So the actual value of the car is $1,000, but the attributed value during this time is $10,000. So I will say, this car is not right now very important to me. I will wait till the pandemic is over, till the recession is over, and then I'll buy the car, because I want to buy the car for the actual value and not the attributed value. Okay. So the concept basically is, where do you put value? Okay. Where do you allow your mind to put value? Somebody is inviting you to a movie. Is that movie very valuable to you, or is the class very valuable to you? Which one? Where do you give big deal? Where do you say class is a bigger deal for me, or the movie is a bigger deal for me? If somebody invites me for a movie Sunday morning 9 a.m., the class is such a big deal for me that there is no way I will go for the movie. So I have attributed more value to the class than to the movie, right? On the Janmashtami evening, the same evening, there is a big concert going on where there big celebrities are coming. Shah Rukh Khan is dancing, right? Once in a lifetime event. But in Janmashtami, I have a lot of services. This will earn me spiritual credits for a lifetime that I cannot even count. There is, so I have attributed more value to Janmashtami and not to the concert, right? But there are other people who have attributed more value to the concert than it deserves. Okay, concert does not deserve as much value as they have assigned it. So you can say assigned value or attributed value. We are assigning more value to certain things, certain activities, certain people, certain opinions, certain events that should not be very valuable to us. The concert by some lead star should not be very valuable to us because that star is just an ordinary person. This concert is not going to give me any eternal credits, right? This is not going to help me in my spiritual life. This is not a seva. This is a sense gratification. This is going to create more bondage. This is going to take me away from a very important event where I could have pleased Krishna. So, ordinary people have assigned more value to that concert than it demands, than it needs, right? Though they have given more value to the to Taylor Swift, right, than to Krishna. So that we have to reassign values in our head. Where are we putting our values? Where are we assigning or attributing more value in our life? Okay. Like another example from my own life, and this is something I've done very, very deliberately, very, very carefully, very very practically I have done this. Okay, and you can see what where it fits in your life. Cricket, to me, at this point of my life, holds no value. I do not assign value to cricket, to the people playing cricket, to people watching cricket, to the match going on. You cannot give me enough money to watch cricket, to spend those 4 to 6 hours. I cannot be tempted to watch it. So this, again, I'm not saying that I have assigned value to certain other improper things that I should not be doing. That is a different matter. But I'm just saying one thing where I have successfully trained my mind that it will not assign more value to cricket than cricket demands. It is of no value to me. So do not allow extra value to be placed upon certain things that are actually maybe wasteful, waste of time, waste of energy, waste of emotions, taking you away from certain more important things that you could do. Of course, I've not been able to train my mind in certain other things, right? I'm, let's say, still watching a movie because to me that is still holding some value, or I may be listening to some songs that are still holding some value to me that are not spiritual songs. So I may have, I still assign value to certain other improper things like books. So I'm still reading books other than Krishna conscious books. So what I'm saying is where I've been successful in is this, but I still have other areas to work on. So where are you assigning value? Remember, where is the actual value? The world is not giving value to those actual things. Krishna conscious things, they do not want to put actual value on it. They are putting more value on certain other activities, other people, other things that do not really demand your attention. They need not become so valuable to you. So when you start minimizing these things in your mind, you start training your mind, you start making these not a very big deal. Okay, these are not a big deal. I can miss out on these things, right? We should not have that FOMO is a very big concept in this world. I should not have this fear of missing out. I do not care to associate with these people. These people are just a waste of my time, or these activities are just a waste of my time. These events, this adventure on which everybody else is going is just, it's not very valuable to me. I do not allow my mind to assign value to these things. They are completely worthless to me. So, where are you putting value? Where are you becoming ambitious? Where are you what things are you making a big deal of? Okay, so this is what I would say.
Hare Krishna, I can't hear anything anymore.
Sorry, one minute. Yeah, anybody has any questions about this concept, or they want to share some area in which they have been successful in doing this, where they can procrastinate their sense gratification and become very excited about some spiritual or service related activities? Anybody wants to share anything? Hear anyone?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hi. Mic that's mute.
Yeah. Hello. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you. Puja Mataji, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I think I was. Okay, who was sharing? Please go ahead.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. This is Divya. I just want to share my Krishna conscious experience. So, like, I started my journey in 2021. So, at that time, I used to listen to the lectures of one Mataji, like, who stays in Vrindavan. And she used to take online classes. So, I used to listen her lectures every day. And at that time, like, I gave so much time to Krishna consciousness. So, like, when I feel anger, when I feel depressed, when I feel demotivated, I used to listen the bhajans, and I used to do lot of chanting, like more chanting I used to do. So in those lectures, she told me, like, force yourself, like, to be in Krishna consciousness. In this, at the starting of that stage, you will be demotivated. So you have to force yourself to be in Krishna consciousness, even if you are not willing to, but still force yourself. She told me like that, and I forced myself, and I did lot of chanting. Like, I didn't do 16 rounds of chanting, but I did, like, slowly I started my chanting, like, 1 round, 2 round, and day by day I increased till 8 rounds of chanting. So, like, when I forced myself and I did my chanting, so, like, I had the best experience, like, the sloka you shared, like, once, who are into Krishna consciousness, who experience that, so they will feel happy through our inner soul. Like, the inner soul will make us happy and will not allow us to be out of the Krishna consciousness. So,
Madhuri,
uh,
give an example or somebody. I want example related to what we were speaking about,
mhm.
where you have minimized the value of a material activity in favor of a spiritual activity. So I want uh, this concept understood about value that we're talking about. I understand you're sharing about disciplining. This is
Mhm.
wonderful. So slowly, we're doing all these spiritual activities as a matter of discipline.
Yes.
That's true. But
Mhm.
today, I want to go to a restaurant. I want
Yes.
to eat there. So I'm
Mhm.
talking about more practical, not just a general overall thing, but a
Mhm.
daily, tangible way to not engage in certain material activities that I find very valuable right now. Like I am addicted to, let's say, watching movies
Mhm.
on Netflix. So
Yes.
I want so I don't want just a general overall Krishna conscious
Mhm.
principles.
Mhm.
I want uh, some example related to the discussion that we are having in this class right now.
Okay, so, like, how I process this journey is, like, I can share, like, exactly. I won't say I stopped going to restaurant or something like that, but I went through this journey. Like, I used to go to the work in the morning, like 8 or 9 o'clock, and I used to come at 10 o'clock. I used to have only like 5 to 6 hours of sleep. So, and I will be like, I'm so tired to wake up early in the morning and do the chanting. So I had to wake up at 4 o'clock, but I didn't woke up at 4 o'clock. But still, when I woke up at 8 o'clock to go to the work, I made sure that I shouldn't miss the chanting process. So I did 8 round anyhow. I did 8 rounds of chanting, and uh, I went to the work. So I made
Right.
sure, like, not stopping
So you
the
are
chanting.
giving chanting a very chanting a lot of importance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Let's hear from somebody else. Nagarjun Prabhu, and just share very quick because we have to keep moving. So I want to go to the next concept if it's okay. And who and looks like Devansh Prabhu also sharing. Go ahead, Nagarjun Prabhu, then Devansh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Um, so my vice is watching cricket. So I do that. I give it a higher attributed value than there is. But of course, anytime we have any program or any kind of Krishna conscious activity, always give it more preference. So if this is being missed, it's being missed. But if I'm free, then I'm going to probably spend my time doing that. So let's say we have to go for book distribution, or every second Saturday there's our monthly Gita program. There is chanting, of course, that has to be done every day. There is, so all these things, or book distribution, or any program, home program, or any, like just like right now we are doing preparations for Janmashtami. So there's the Krishna play we are making. So all these, so I always make sure that the Krishna conscious activities and my responsibilities come first before anything else. Krishna.
Right. So both you and Mataji actually shared a common point. So you're saying that you are able to resist watching cricket if there is another activity going on. Then you will choose a spiritual activity in favor of a material activity, right? And Mataji also said that she will make time for spiritual activities. She will give that priority because she knows that the value of chanting is much higher than these materialistic activities. So she's making time. And this is the second point here. So actually, both of you have helped me get into the second point, which is when one's mind is fixed on the superior nature, he has no alternative but to follow the dictation of the supreme. The mind must admit some superior dictation and follow it. So, which means if you fill your life with service, if you fill every minute of your life with some tangible service, and then service is, it could be chanting, it could be various Krishna conscious activities, but even your work is service. Remember that, right? For Arjun right now, fighting is service. Taking care of your children could be service, or basically anything can be a service. So if you're engaged in service, if you are constantly filling your mind with something superior, something divine, then you are controlling your mind with Krishna consciousness, and it has no alternative but to follow the dictation of the Supreme. So again, the concept of higher taste comes if you give higher taste, like Mataji was saying, when she was chanting, she was feeling very sober. Those emotions, anger and frustration and fear were not affecting her so much. So if you give something superior, then the mind must admit to that superior dictation and follow it, right? But if you did not, if you जैसे कहते हैं ना खाली दिमाग शैतान का घर, if you did not give anything superior to it for it to occupy, then you will have all those bad thoughts, bad emotions, bad desires. You will be distracted, you will be disturbed. Then you would want to watch cricket and watch all these movies and other things. So in this way, always give something superior to follow. And that is what the next verse is also about. Devansh Prabhu, you wanted to share something?
It's me, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So, I think I can talk on behalf of me and Devansh. So, um, so Devansh is a little introvert, and I might not completely say that I'm an extrovert. Somewhere in between, like an ambivert. So, what happens is we run out of our social batteries when we do our services or something, and we prioritize taking rest, and when we do that, although that is a service to our bodies as well, to take some rest and recharge and do our next services better, but still, like attending the class on Sundays or doing book distribution on our event, that still really excites us. And so we try to prioritize the higher purpose, if you might call it, over resting or recharging. So in a way that still helps us. Sadhu Sang helps us very much, and listening to lectures, so we don't feel bewildered in the material world.
Mataji, was there a question in there?
No, Mataji, just
Okay.
mentioning
Okay.
that.
Your realization.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, all of you shared very wonderful realizations. Divya Mataji shared about chanting and making time and prioritizing. You also shared about prioritizing, and Nagarjun Prabhu also said that when there are services, then he will prioritize the service and not, and he understands the value of service over these materialistic activities that have become very big in this world, that are given over, that are overestimated. But in our mind, we should try to minimize them. We should know what they are, treat them as they are, look at them for what they are. They are just waste of time. Okay. And eventually it's possible that even when you are not in a direct Krishna conscious activity, you will still be able to avoid these other wasteful activities. We have to come to a point when there is no direct Krishna conscious service. Even then, we can avoid wasting our time through these materialistic activities. So, Mataji, Sakshi Mataji was talking about two types of activities. One is direct Krishna conscious activities, and one is indirect. Direct activities are direct devotional services, like listening to this class, or me teaching this class, or reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or scriptures, or learning verses, or deity worship, or chanting, or serving in a program, serving devotees, going to Dham. These are direct devotional activities. So, of course, direct devotional activities are extremely auspicious, and a lot of people are able to give importance to them, especially if you're a devotee. Our problem is not that we can't give importance to those activities. We know we have to prioritize over materialistic activities. But the point is, when we are not engaged in those direct devotional activities, we are wasting time in these other useless materialistic activities, wasting time with people that have nothing to do with spiritual life, wasting time on events, on things, on objects that are not directly Krishna conscious. So, as devotees, that's our problem, right? Ordinary people have problem that they cannot come to Janmashtami in favor of the concert. We can come to Janmashtami, but outside of Janmashtami, are we able to, and to avoid these useless activities? Can we train our mind to not pay importance to the useless worldly people and worldly things and worldly activities? That is our problem. So that is where we have to train our mind as devotees. So even on daily basis, we have to start minimizing the value of these other things and start seeing them as they are, and slowly withdrawing our mind from those things on a daily basis also. So Mataji was, Sakshi Mataji very nicely mentioned that there are indirect activities also we are doing. For example, taking care of our body, taking care of our loved ones, working, like our professional work. They are not directly devotional activities, but they're also service, because we are serving our body and bodily extensions, like our family members, our society, or our work. This is all bodily extensions. These are responsibility given to us to maintain. So it is our service to engage in those indirect devotional services also. So maybe you can have more of those activities which are not completely whimsical, or Prabhupada uses the word capricious. They are not completely capricious activities, wasteful activities. Can we do one more? And this is a short verse, I think. Yeah, it's very short. Let's do one more, because this will nicely solidify this concept you're all talking about. Let's do verse 8. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. Kutastho Vijitendriya. Kutastho
Kuntasto
Vijitendriya.
Vijitendriya
Yukta iti uchyate yogi.
Yukta
Yukta
iti
iti
Uchyate
uchyate
Yogi
yogi. Samaloshtrasma kanchanaha.
Samaloshtrasya
Samaloshtrasma kanchanaha.
Kanchana.
Can somebody read the translation?
A person is said to be established in self realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self control. He sees everything, whether it is pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same.
Let's look at the Sanskrit very quick. So now Krishna is talking about this Jitatmana Prashantasya person, okay, who is not disturbed by the dualities or by the Actually, I didn't, in the last verse, I did not talk about the dualities. That is also where we are putting more value. We are putting, attributing or assigning more value to the success, worldly success, or to the worldly riches, money. So if I lost some money, or if I did not become successful as people wanted me to be, or as people expect me, then since I've assigned so much value to it, I feel like a failure. That's why I get disturbed, right? Or I have been told that I should always be, top class. I should always be I should be getting promotion every few years. And since I did not get promotion this year, somehow I'm a failure. So then I feel defeated. I feel disturbed. I feel agitated. So this person has not assigned too much value uh, to the dualities of this world. This person, Jitatmana person, understands that ups and downs will keep coming, difficult people will keep coming. Some of them may be our family members, some of them may be our friends, some of them may be people in the society. Don't need to put too much value on things that they are doing. That's their nature. Our nature is to stay connected to Krishna and say prashant, say tranquil, say sober, like that. Similarly, difficulties, ups and downs will keep coming. That is the nature of this world. This world is a world of dualities, dvandva. So dvandva will keep coming. The waves in the Bhav Sagar will keep coming. Ups and down, up and down waves will keep coming. So not to get too disturbed by that, not to put too much value on what is defined as the success, or as the happiness, or as the victory, or as the riches, or as the prosperity in this world. That is not the definition of success for a Jitatmana person. So again, that's how also where you can minimize the value of those things in your mind, and you have to train your mind to slowly give more value to spiritual life, to the ultimate mission of human life, to eternal life, and minimize the worldly beliefs, worldly misinformation and illusions, worldly illusions or opinions of people. Slowly minimize those things. Okay. And in this verse, Krishna is saying such a person is Jnani, right? He has knowledge, but he also has Vigyan. So he's not like Ravan. He has applied knowledge also, realized knowledge. So that is why I'm giving you these practical sutras which we can apply on a daily basis. I want from today to start training our mind where we can um, expand the value of spiritual systems, spiritual things in our life, and minimize these other things. Okay. Start becoming a sober person that Krishna wants us to be, who does not get disturbed. Start filtering all these extra desires, extra thoughts, extra emotions that are coming into your mind. Start seeing mind as an uncontrolled enemy unless I control it very deliberately every day. So that's why we are talking about the applied points, Vigyan, how you can realize this knowledge in your daily life. Such a person is Triptatma, he is satisfied. Okay, such a person is Vijitendriya, he has controlled his senses also. He does not give in to all the demands of his senses. Okay. Yukta iti uchyate yogi, and such a person is yukta, meaning he is uh, very absorbed in self-realization. Such a person is considered yogi. So, like Mataji was saying, that when she's sleeping, she knows that she's sleeping because even that is also a service to my body. If I don't sleep, how can I wake up next day and do my services again? So, I do need to take some rest also. I do need to prioritize that also. I do need to withdraw from social engagements and give rest to my body, give rest to my mind. And Divya Mataji was sharing how she was prioritizing chanting. So such a person can become yukta, yogi, absorbed person because he is connected with Krishna through various direct and indirect devotional activities. And such a person will then become a very advanced personality. So you all of you that were sharing these practical things, you all are not only Gyani, but becoming Vigyani also, apply with realized knowledge. You're applying this on a daily basis. And you will become that Uttam Adhikari who will see Loshtra, Ashma, and Kanchana on a same level. Meaning, to such a person, the value of a pebble or of a stone or gold is all the same. Okay, all the same. So this is again the value of applied and or sorry, assigned value, attributed value versus actual value comes. He understand the gold in this world has been given too much value, but ultimately gold is just a material element. It is just an element made by these mahabhutas, panch mahabhutas. So yes, in this world we give excessive value to gold because it glitters, it is very beautiful to look at. So people have given more value to it, right? Somebody at some point decided that gold is more valuable. But to this person, Loshtra, meaning pebbles, Ashma, meaning stones, and Kanchan, meaning gold, has all the same value. Okay, and similarly, he has all the same value to a cow, remember, to an elephant, to a dog eater, or to a brahmana. So, Vidya Vine Sampanne, Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha, Brahmane Gavi Hastini. So, this Brahman Pandit person has no extra value to these external bodily material things. He does not pay too much. He does not put too much value on these things. Such a person is called yogi. He's self-controlled, he's self-realized soul. Can we quickly read this purport and then we'll stop? Who wants to read the... Who was reading? Namita Mataji, go ahead.
Yeah. Book knowledge without realization of the supreme truth is useless. This is stated as follows. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhaved Grayam Indriya Sivon Mukhe Hi Jivadao Swayan Eva Swatati Yada. No one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality, and pastimes of Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. Bhakti Rasmrita Sindhu 1.2.234. This Bhagavad Gita is the science of Krishna consciousness. No one can become Krishna conscious simply by mundane scholarship. One must be fortunate enough to associate with a person who is in pure consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna because he is satisfied with pure devotional service. By realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. By transcendental knowledge, one can remain steady in his convictions. But by mere academic knowledge, one can easily be deluded and confused by apparent contradictions. It is realized soul who is at self control because he is surrendered to Krishna. He is transcendental because he has nothing to do with mundane scholarship. For him, mundane scholarship and mental speculation, which may be as good as gold to others, are of no greater value than pebbles or stones. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is again very important verse. This is the point we were discussing. That, we always talk about higher taste, but the problem is we do not find higher taste in these spiritual activities. So this is the solution to that. Like, for example, let's say I do not find higher taste in prasadam. I still want to eat restaurant food. Or I do not find higher taste in Vaishnav bhajans. I still want to listen to Bollywood songs. I do not find higher taste in Bhagavad Gita. I still want to read regular books. So this verse is saying this materially contaminated senses cannot relish the name, form, pastimes of Krishna. So materially contaminated senses do not find higher taste in these things, name, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna, right? They find higher taste in still the worldly things. So how can you overcome that? Sevon mukhe hi jiva dau. This is a very important verse. When you take Bhakti Shastri, this is a memory verse from Nectar of Devotion. Atha Shri Krishna namadi na bhavet grayam indriye sevon mukhe hi jiva dau swayam eva svurati ada. And this is the concept you all mentioned. You have to be sevon mukh. Seva unmukh. You always have to engage in service. Then the jiva is just one sense organ. But when you give seva to your jiva, okay, whether through chanting of holy names, reading, hearing, or other sense organs, when you engage them in seva, swayam eva swurati ada, then they become very swurati means very excited in spiritual activities. Then these sense organs, when they're engaged in seva, become very ambitious, very um, you know um, active in spiritual activities. So swayam eva spurati yada. Okay, so become spiritually saturated by, the verse is saying, become spiritually saturated by service to the Lord. So engage in as many services as possible, become seva unmukh, and then you can overcome these the mind. So basically, and then this verse will also talk about how this person sees everybody the same, the spiritual vision of a yogi, of an absorbed person. And Krishna will elaborate on that in the next two verses, which we will take next time. But today, just the bullet points. Number one, we have to be internally absorbed on Paramatma, not externally disturbed. Uncontrolled mind will be externally disturbed by the various desires, emotions, thoughts, temptations, etc. So, in order to become internally oriented, in order to become prashanta or peaceful, one practical point is that we should know where the real value lies. We should know the other things have been assigned, have been given overestimated value, which is not their real value. So start minimizing those things in your life and start giving more value to the spiritual activities. Second point we also learned was filter these things that come from outside. Okay, accept the favorable things in your life and reject the unfavorable things. Okay, anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam. Make a sankalp to accept the favorable things, and the unfavorable things become very loosey goosey towards them. Don't make them very big deal. Don't be very excited towards them. Procrastinate. Okay, procrastinate is a practical thing you can start doing from today. But whatever sense desires comes to you, I want to enjoy this, I want to do this, procrastinate those things, become very soft towards them, unenthusiastic. But spiritual activities create an urgency, an emergency. I have to do this. It's a very big deal for me if I miss a program. It's a very big deal for me if I miss a class, because that class is going to be registered as, let's say, 1,000 eternal credits in my eternal bank balance by Krishna. And I'm missing that out because I was just busy sleeping or doing something else. Very big deal for me. So make these things a big deal. So train your mind, start filtering things, start procrastinating other things, and start making a big deal of spiritual activities. And then this last point was absorb in as much direct and indirect devotional services as possible. So some practical points to start training your mind, and it will get trained. It is not, it is a material thing, and we are surrendering to Krishna. So Krishna will help us train this mind, but make these efforts on a practical daily basis, and the mind will become our friend instead of enemy. So those are some of the points. Anybody else wants to share any last minute thoughts, realizations?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I would like to say share some realization about my relationship with food.
Yes, Prabhu.
Before coming into Krishna consciousness, and like mainly to start with, I was I would say very heavy meat eater. Every other day, going outside with colleagues or something, I used to have a lot of consumption of meat, and where it was coming was from like my body. I think it's probably high metabolism, and I feel hungry so very quickly. Like every 2-3 hours, I will have to eat something, and uh, the hunger, the feeling of hungry was like so much intense that I would, you'd feel the change in my behavior, in my, I would lose temper quickly. All of those things used to happen.
Angry.
So, yeah, hangry. Yes, hangry is the word. So I've started to, work with. So first thing was quitting meat. That was the first thing, and with that, uh, being completely vegetarian, moving completely to sattvic food. And I also had a lot of things about junk food, processed food, sugar, food with a lot of high sugar content. So all of those things with the Krishna consciousness have started to avoid, uh, completely cut off meat. We have started avoiding onion, garlic in the food as well. And even if we go outside, at least we try to, make choices which are a little bit conscious, and not give in to this all this unhealthy junk food, burgers and this and that. And staying on the track. And with that, I'm also doing Ekadashi recently, and that has also helped me in a way to like control my senses, to control that hunger. That okay, I cannot eat this. The most I can have is a juice right now, or a small banana shake or something, and that would have to suffice my hunger for now. But it has been helping me. I'm not completely there yet, but I have a lot of control over my hunger and the craving for all the unhealthy foods. That's something I wanted to share.
Wow. That's amazing, Pravi. That's thanks for sharing. And everything starts from tongue, what we are eating actually. And Mataji makes such delicious prasadam, not only for you but for us. So she's keeping all of us in line. Thanks for sharing. It's really brave of you to share that.
Thank you, Mother.
Yeah, that's amazing. Um, I couldn't find, I was trying to find what Ravan was. So Ravan said, Shubhasya Shigram, right? Do the auspicious thing, the spiritual thing very quickly. And he said, Ashubhasya Kalaharanam, that delay the Ashubh thing. He did not follow this mantra himself, but this is like a pocket sized mantra you can keep to control your mind. That Shubh thing should be done very actively, very energetically, very quickly, create an urgency. Um, but the inauspicious, unfavorable thing, he actually did very quickly, which we should not do, right? He was very quick in kidnapping Mother Sita. Um, anyway, so thank you, Prabhu, for sharing. Anybody else wants to share before we stop the call? I hope you will practice this week some of these tricks that we are learning, and you will see that eventually this will become very the mind will become easier to control. People's opinions will not matter so much. Worldly temptations will not distract so much. Worldly narrative about what is success, what is failure, what is health, what is sickness, what is all these things will not matter so much. And mind will become very prashant, very joyful, very peaceful. These disturbances will, that your radio frequency will tune out of those things and will tune into Paramatma more and more. So and I hope and pray that that happens for all of us as long as we put some efforts, deliberately, very intentionally make these efforts starting today. So we'll stop. Thank you everyone for joining. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha Kalturubhischa Kripa Sindhuve Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hari Bol. See you next weekend.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.